viewers, welcome to Views and Opinion on CCPM TV, where your voice matters. On this episode, we'll be talking about AIDS. The acquired immune deficiency syndrome was notorious for being one of the highest killers in the history of global pandemic. And so, World AIDS Day is known to be one of the most important global public health celebrations observed in recorded history. We therefore went to the streets to get the views and opinion of Nigerians on the prevalence of AIDS. But before we do that, let's take this commentary. World AIDS Day is celebrated annually on every 1st of December by all the United Nations member states, governments, non-governmental organizations, and individuals. It was first celebrated in the year 1988. That was 32 years ago, and this was to raise awareness of the AIDS pandemic and mourning of those who died from the disease. A red ribbon is used as the global symbol for solidarity with HIV-positive people and those living with AIDS. This red ribbon started as an act of protest created in 1991 by a New York-based visual AIDS artist caucus, intended as a sign of compassion for people living with AIDS who were stigmatized. Each year, the World AIDS Day focuses on a specific theme. This year's theme is Global Solidarity, Shared Responsibility. It would interest you to know that as of 2017, AIDS has killed between 28.9 million and 41.5 million people worldwide, and an estimated 36.7 million people are living with HIV. But as of June 2019, about 40 million people globally were living with HIV, while 2 million people became newly infected with the disease, and about 900,000 people died from AIDS. But thanks to the recent improved antiretroviral treatment in many regions of the world, the death rate from AIDS epidemic has decreased since its peak in 2005.
Well, this HIV thing, I've not ever checked HIV status before, I've not. And I can't until when I want to get married.
I seldomly check. Reasons being that I'm born again, I am married, I live a decent life. Though you don't trust people all the time, but all the same, I check myself. When I'm sick, I try to find out the reason for my sickness.
Not that often, because I think for more than 2 years I've not checked mine.
Once in a while.
Every 3 months, so yes, I do check it.
In the early days, like in the 80s, or late 90s, when we started hearing about HIV and AIDS, people were very frightened. People would like here in our own parlance, we say, Obrina Georgia. We thought when immediately you have HIV and AIDS, the next thing is death. But as time went on, with a lot of education, people now began to know that AIDS is no longer a death sentence.
It's affected the world at the first time, but now I don't think that people are conscious of HIV the way it used to be in those days. You know, in those days when you talk about AIDS or HIV, everybody will be shaking. But now people are not even interested because these are a sickness that you can manage to the end of your life, like high BP, high blood pressure. But the only thing is that makes people to die in HIV now is when they don't check themselves, they don't take medication for it.
Some years back it was a very big issue, but now we have drugs that can help you live a longer life with HIV and AIDS. But on the general note, it's really a bad thing because you have people that contact this and their plans for life just get short, they get devastated, some of them go into depression and die from it and all sorts. but it's really a bad thing, and it's something that we should all take care of, and should be mindful of the things we do and people we interact with, because we know it's really passed through sexual intercourse and all those things. So people should be mindful.
When it came out newly, everywhere was shaking. People were really conscious of the way they live their lives. Like for me then, I used to carry my needles to the salon, my comb and hair, all that. But at the time, the surge died down, kind of. So I think people now live carefree lives. I lost a friend last year through HIV/AIDS. Probably the person was too careless, believing that it is no longer there while it is still there. You understand? So the surge has kind of died down, you know, and then people tend to forget about it and living their lives the way they want. But it is still there. So impacting the life, it slowed down a lot of things. It slowed down a lot of things. In the aspect of economic development, a lot of people lost their lives. Prominent people, well-to-do men and women, well-placed people lost their lives, thereby losing their positions in such places where they occupy. Do you understand? So it did really affect the world.
I'll come in the aspect of the scripture. Like if every youth can understand, first of all, that their body is a temple of the living God, that means they need to take good care of their body with all diligence. Like how have HIV affected the world? First of all, as you say, the youth no longer have this courage. That means to come out. That means whenever a person is affected with that disease, there is no boldness. There is inward guilt inside of that person.
If you are going to hospital to check it, like this 3 months, you will know. Or if you are sick, you go to hospital. If they detect you, you will go to the doctors. They will advise you to take the drugs and other things to be eaten. So people are no more afraid of it again, like when it started initially.
People don't take HIV/AIDS to be real any longer.
HIV has ever been, I think from the way I've heard about it, HIV has been even before I was born. So I can't tell. HIV is real. Yes, HIV is real, but it never reached my side and it no go reach.
Relating to what we have today as the coronavirus, I think that is the earthquake we are having today. That's the main, what do we call it, pandemic we are having today. Because in this corona today, there are a lot of rumors, there are a lot of information about it, how it is spreading. People say use your nose mask, 10 feet or 20 feet social distancing, or blah, 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 a lot of them. So, but I think in a nutshell, the bottom line is everybody should be careful.
Let us habit the character of checking ourselves, going to hospital, checking yourself. Because when you don't check yourself to know whether you are a carrier or not, that is when you have problem.
The lessons we need to draw from this is that, one, we know that things will come and things will pass. It will come and pass, that's what we know.
But my advice to the world is for them to live a life of holiness and righteousness, because Jesus is coming very soon.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do you know your HIV status? And how often do you check it? I know HIV is not as scary as it used to be in the past, but do not be fooled. People still die from HIV and AIDS. So always protect yourself and do the right thing. Leave us your comments in our comment section below, and also follow us on all of our social media handles as displayed on the screen. For partnership and inquiries, contact us via our WhatsApp number on the screen as well. Thank you and stay safe. I am Chidima Ubochi.